Did we just discover alien life on Venus? Now that you ask, let's talk. Welcome to One Word Physics. For centuries, we're asking the same age-old question. Are we alone in the universe? Recent discoveries might be the first ever evidence of life in our solar system, other than Earth. Gas known as phosphine or PH3 was recently discovered in the atmosphere of Venus, which is now being considered as one of the markers for life on an extraterrestrial body. This gas can also be found on Earth as evidence of microbial activity. But detecting this gas on Venus is very difficult as its spectral features get absorbed by the planet's atmosphere. With two powerful telescopes, the James Clerk Maxwell Telescope and the Atacama Large Millimeter or Submillimeter Array, scientists were able to detect, validate, and both the telescopes produced very similar spectra, indicating the presence of phosphine in the Venusian atmosphere. At the same time, phosphine is not just exclusive to planets with life. Gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn have this gas. However, it does not indicate the presence of life on these planets. The molecule of phosphine is very simple and can be made in a hydrogen-rich environment if enough pressure and temperature are available for the phosphorus to bond with 3 atoms of hydrogen. And in planets like Saturn, a gas giant is very favorable for PH3 formation through the inorganic processes. And through convection currents, they get swept into the outer layers of the atmosphere where they are generally found. But planets like Venus and Earth don't have this high pressure and temperature for spontaneous formation of phosphine. There are other sources on Earth like factories. As we know, Venus doesn't have any factories. Then this gas is most probably made by some natural chemical process or by some microbial life form. PH3 is detected in the mid-altitude and is not generally strong along the poles in the Venusian atmosphere. Before we start discussing any alien theories, first we have to define some conditions and look into different processes other than the supposed microbial life form that can produce phosphine. The phosphine concentration in the Venusian atmosphere can range from 20 to 30 parts per billion, and its detection proves the presence of phosphorus or in its surface or subsurface. The only evidence that we have to date for the atmospheric phosphorus is from Vega descent probe from Russia. Venus's atmosphere is so oxidizing that the bulk of phosphorus will be in the oxide form, that is phosphate. Now, considering this and looking into the data, we have to study the thermodynamical conditions of the atmosphere, surface and subsurface. From this, we find out that formation of phosphine is not possible when we consider almost 75 different reactions with thousands of conditions under a temperature range of 270 to 1500 Kelvin and pressure ranging from 0.2 to 10,000 bar. We can safely say that this rules out the hydrolysis of geological or meteoritic phosphide as source of phosphine. This also rules out the formation of phosphoric acid, a candidate for PH3, which would need unrealistic conditions where the whole atmosphere needs to be composed almost entirely of hydrogen. The concentration of PH3 changes with variation in altitude. When we move higher and higher in the Venusian atmosphere, there is a decrease in the concentration of radicals like chlorine. Along with that, concentration of PH3 decreases due to different chemical reactions with them. This property is determined by looking into the lifetime of PH3 molecules, which can range from 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 8 seconds. More radicals, less phosphine. Now, moving from chemical to natural processes like lightning and volcanic eruption. Here on Earth, both of these phenomena form phosphine. Yet, in the case of Venus, there is no substantial evidence of lightning at such a scale that can justify the concentration of 20 to 30 parts per billion. And like Earth, volcano can be a viable natural event for phosphine. to have those concentrations more than 200 times the volcanic activity on Earth is required. But topological studies found hardly any evidence of volcanic activity on Venusian surface. Now that we have discussed the alternatives for a microbial life which can produce phosphine, and I have seen how these are not that viable, let's talk about the most plausible conditions. If no chemical reaction can explain the phosphine production, then we have to look into other processes that were not considered plausible, like unknown photochemistry or some sort of alien life form. To explain the observed concentration, both biological and unknown chemical sources must be investigated. So we looked into it, and what we found was, we don't know enough. The photochemistry of Venusian clouds is completely unknown. That's bad and good, because we cannot pinpoint a definitive answer. That's bad. And we cannot just overlook the possibility of presence of microbial life form on Venus. That's good. Even if the atmosphere is hyperacidic, microbial life is very promising explanation for the amount of pH3 in parts per billion present in the atmosphere. To further strengthen this hypothesis, a published scientific paper modeled the circumstances under which phosphine can be made biologically and showed that under cool and acidic conditions, microbial life can still thrive. The Hadley circulation cell also provides the most stable environment for life. Hadley's cell is a global scale atmospheric circulation model that shows air rising at equator and moving towards the poles, and with circulation period of 70 to 90 days on Venus is adequate for reproduction of microbes. As more evidence, the ALMA telescope didn't detect pH3 above 60 degree latitude bound, consistent with upper boundary of Hadley's cell model, after which the gases start circulating towards lower altitude. But further study and work are needed to understand this even further. Now, we have two planets in our solar system, in our immediate neighbor, with potential biological life for us to explore. One is Mars, getting almost all limelight for the search of life, still an ongoing endeavor. But now we have a new candidate, that is Venus, with some form of evidence of life. As we ready ourselves for a crewed mission to Mars without any evidence of life to become a spacefaring civilization, why don't we just consider Venus? We asked Mars about this, the planet. Here's what happened.
Great practical joke, Jim. Got me go to the annex. No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, Mars was not really thrilled about the new development. But honestly, I'm with Mars, because it is not just better but way better for colonization. The atmospheric pressure on Earth is 1, whereas on Venus it's 92. Here we have water as rain, there it is sulfuric acid rain. The probe sent there shows us chemical river. So if we try to live on Venus, we will be crushed, corroded, and I'm pretty sure we'll die. Mars, on the other hand, is way better. Finding evidence of life on Venus is cool and exciting. But we must not jump to conclusions. We overhype things, get overexcited, and when reality hits us, we find ourselves disappointed. Here's what the researchers who published the paper wrote. Even if confirmed, we emphasize that the detection of pH3 is not robust evidence for life, only for anomalous and unexplained chemistry. And that's all for this video. Write your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. If you learned something new, please like, share, consider subscribing, and hit that bell icon. So the next video from me will just slide into notifications. Until the next video, thank you so much for watching.